Alright, what's up everyone? This is Sam, aka Wakeman VGC, and I'm joined by Benny. How you doing today, Benny?
Hi everyone, I'm glad to be here and I'm doing fine.
Alright, well we are here today to talk about the Season 2 Squirtle Division Power Rankings for the Great
hmm
Lakes Draft League. So just some notes as I always like to give on these PRs. The basically when we especially when we're talking about preseason power rankings, they don't mean a whole lot. They don't,
Yeah.
they're not predictive. I'll I meant to change this last time because I didn't change it. It still says Wakeman and Ryan's scores, uh, and I recorded this with Flamingo and didn't change it that time either. Um, Whoops, but
Uh, that's
yeah,
correct. That's fine.
same. Same just as usual. Rankings don't take into account player skill or play style. So if you have a really hyper offensive team that I like, uh, that I know you're going to do really well with because you're a hyper offense player, I'm not going to take that into account when ranking. Um, and we determined our scores by averaging my own personal rankings and Ben's personal rankings. Um, and it actually created some pretty interesting rankings this time around, I think, because we disagreed on a lot of stuff. Um, and the Empoleon, me and Ryan only disagreed on one slot, and in Quillfish, I think me and Flamingo only disagreed on like two or three. So
Yeah,
so the disagreement here is definitely much more prevalent, but I think that'll make things interesting
yeah,
a
but
little
it's
bit
it's just gonna make for a better video, I think.
for sure. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that being said, I'm going to start off with the first team. It's the Silver City Sylveons at number 12. They averaged a score of 12. This is coached by Joey. He was fifth pick in the draft. He has Regieleki, Rotom Heat, Alchemy, Serena, Appleton, Sigalith, Charjabug, Dracovish, Garbodor, uh, Bug, what's it called? Centiskorch, and Duraludon. So,
Yeah.
um, I guess I'll just give some initial thoughts on this team, and then I'll hand it over to you, Bene. I so the first thing I think about this team is like the I think he got really good value out of every slot. Like I think the value per tier, um, in each of these mons is good. Like I don't he didn't really pick anything that's like I would consider under tiered or like low value in the tier, but I just don't know that a lot of these things make a lot of sense together.
hmm
Um, like Regieleki's great. It's really good. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing it because I feel like I've rarely seen it taken in draft leagues. But there's a little bit for me for my taste. There's a little bit too much overlap of typing when I don't think it's necessary. Um, I'm not normally one who's like a
Yeah.
super stickler about like, oh, you should never ever overlap any types. But like there's three dragons here, which granted they don't really share that. I don't know if, I mean they really don't share many common weaknesses, so I guess it's not terrible. But for me the issue here more is like this team looks like it kind of just wants to kill things. Like there's not
hmm
a whole lot of bulk here. Um, I mean, kind of Appleton and kind of and Rotom, but uh,
Yeah, that's pretty
it's
much
just
it.
like yeah, and there's so much repeating typings: two grass types, three dragon types, two
Two
electric
fires.
types, two fire types. I feel like it's uh, well, three electric types, I guess, if you count Charge a Bug. But
If you
I'm worried
consider
that it's
that
gonna.
any type at all.
I just feel like it's gonna lose some like offensive coverage it could really use. But yeah, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this one, Benny?
Yeah. You pretty much covered all of my points. The main issue I think also is no fake outs. It's gonna be huge. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess you don't need fake out when you have Serena to block opposing fake outs, but it's still always great to deter some a Pokemon to move from a turn and proceed to set up your team from there. But yeah, like you said, Agility Rotom, two electric types, both get the screens, both get Electro Web, both get Eerie Impulse, so they pretty much cover each other, but I guess Agility is more offensive while Rotom is more bulky, but um, I feel like they could have gotten something better, not better, but something else, like not something as repetitive as those two. And yeah, like you said, the team is very offensive, but not very bulky. You set up Trick Room against them, and they pretty much lose because other than Appleton, which is base 30, I believe, the team is not that slow. And yeah, like
Yeah,
I
they
love I
also
love
can't
Drolodon
fake
pick,
out.
but yeah,
Oh, sorry. I was just
and
gonna
yeah,
say they also can't fake out Trick Room setters either, which is kind of big, I think.
no, yeah, the
Um,
exactly. So
does I'm wondering if Sigalith gets imprisoned. I don't think it does.
mm, maybe I can check that real
Um,
quick.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I would agree. I think the main thing here is the Rotom slot. I think could be something else.
yeah,
Um,
and the lack of of supportive mon also. Like,
yeah, like
um,
I mean, Alchemy is great, but other than that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
think like the team really loves Choice Scarf Decorate. Like everything can go off with the Decorate boost, but um, I mean, you do that once, you do that twice. Third time, the your opponent's gonna be prepared for it. So
yeah.
it's not
So
something you
Sigalith
can bring every
does,
time and expect it to work. So
yeah,
and I don't see imprison on. Yeah, yeah, no, sorry, it does get imprisoned Trick Room, Sigalith.
yeah,
So Sigalith is the only speed control on the team. He gets both Tailwind and Trick Room and imprison.
yeah. I
So
mean, he does
I guess
have
it's
the
great. It's
double
a jack of
electro
all trade.
webs. Yeah, he does have the
Yeah,
double electro webs. I think like Regieleki plus Dracovish is super strong.
for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
and Regieleki really like Regieleki is I think super great on this team. I just yeah, it just generally feels like there's a little too much overlap going on, and
Mhm. And yeah,
yeah,
and when you see Reggie Dracovic lead, you know for sure Dracovic is not gonna max. If it does, it's almost a relief because Max Geyser is way
right,
less powerful than Fisher's Ren. So yeah.
yep, yeah, for sure. All right, well, that being said, we're gonna move on to number 11, the Snowbelt Blizzards, and I'll let you
Mm-hmm.
introduce this one, Bene.
Yeah. Snowball Result. Actually, I really like the team. My main issue about why I put them solo um, is mainly because of the speed tiers. Like, yes, Sneasel and Spectre are pretty fast, but other than that, everything average around 60, 80-ish. I guess there's a Rodactyl as well with 130 and Stilix at
You
30.
know, I
But
mean, he's got Steelix too.
yeah, Stilix at 30 for Trick Room, but um, I it's the only mon that really abused Trick Room on the team. Maybe Rhydon, but they share a lot of weaknesses, so I don't think you bring both on a Trick Room mode. And yeah, and other and another point is you have Gallade with beat up from Sneasel and Flareon for physical damage. Aerodactyl, I guess, which can max, but it's not gonna last very long. But the main threats are special. Primarina, Spectrier, Togekiss, Rotom. Like because you won't see Steelix and Rhydon come every week. If they come, it's in Trick Room, and I don't think both are gonna come. So yeah, like
Yeah,
it's great. It's great picks, but then again, um, it lacks sorry, some key components on the team, and I think that hurts them a lot.
yeah, yeah. I don't really have a huge issue with the speed control, the speed tiers personally. I think it's pretty okay. Um, the main thing to me like is what kind of what you touched on is like Yeah, he has physical options, right? But they're all kind of frail, kind of inconsistent. Um, three of
They share
them,
some typings. They're ground and rock.
they're all weak to water. Three of them are weak to ground. Two are weak to rock. Um, yeah, so like there's a lot of like you can just bring one or two mons and beat like his entire physical mode. And like you know, I don't even know how much I really love Sneasel here. Like I know that
Yeah,
it's setting up beat up for Gallade. I know that it can like ice shard into Togekiss for weakness policy, but like I don't know. I don't know if that's good enough because like Gallade kind of sucks. like
yeah,
okay, I should clarify. I think Gallade's really good, but justified like I think that's a very very matchup specific kind of set, right? And
sure, yeah.
while it's good to have that versatility, and I think that's one of the reasons Gallade is actually a good low tier pick. I'm not sold
Mm.
on like Sneasel
But
necessarily
Gallade,
being
Gallade
worth
is
the
great
slot.
also for White Guard, Trick Room, Will-O-Wisp. Like
Right.
it, like I think it's okay. Like Gallade is not an issue for me personally, but more so Sneasel, like you've touched on. Yeah, it set up Gallade. It can set up Togekiss, but it's not. It doesn't fit very well other than with those two mons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with Gallade on the team. I was more so just like, I don't think like justified and like max and kill stuff. Gallade is good enough to justify the Sneasel slot. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and then even like some of the flex picks, you know, like Rotom, like I would have really loved to see like something physical. I mean, it's really hard, right? Because he does have, you know, four physical attackers, but none of them are super strong, and most of them are
Yeah.
frail-ish. Like
I
I'm gonna be
mean,
honest,
yeah.
I'm
I
not.
just
I'm
realized. I
not.
just realized he has Rhydon with Lightning Rod, for Primarina and Togekiss, so it's great.
Yeah, yeah. I was
I
gonna.
think. I
Yeah,
think. I think you either pick Rhydon or Statics on this team.
yeah. Um, yeah. I could get behind that. Like, but
Because they
that's the
overlap a
thing,
lot.
right? Yeah, for sure. And like Togekiss Spectre is gonna be a insane lead, and that's just gonna like auto win
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
But like
yeah,
even then, Snarl just messes that lead up, and it kind of messes this whole team up. Because honestly, like Flareon is like base 130 attack, and you can guts boost it and all that. But I have I don't think I've ever seen a Flareon pop off. Like I've seen it taken in pretty much every league I've ever done, and it never does anything. um,
yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe I'd
It's
love to
hard.
see.
It doesn't have a great coverage.
Yeah, I'd love to see it get used because I think it can do stuff, but I don't know, man. Like
Same.
I've never seen it put into like practice very well, um,
Yeah,
and the
but
fact
out
that
of tier
that's
five,
this.
I think it's a fine pick.
Oh yeah, for sure. What is Gallade's base attack? It's not bad.
80. Base attack.
Yeah, base
Attack
attack.
stat is 120, I think, or
125.
115.
Okay,
125.
125. Yeah, so it's not bad. I don't know. This is a really weird team for me to talk about,
Yeah.
honestly.
The more and more I talk
Um,
about it, the more and more I realize maybe I put them a bit too low.
yeah,
Maybe I should have. Um, I think they should be higher than this, but they have issues. But I realize now that the issues I brought up are not that problematic. If that makes sense.
yeah,
Like they can get around pretty well. The
yeah.
Perish trap core is great,
Mhm.
but
All
yeah.
right. All right. Well, that being said, we're gonna move on to. We have a tie here for 9 and 10.
Mhm.
So at 9th/10th, we have Ultimate Unburdened, coached by Bene. He
Yeah,
picked.
I'm gonna let you start this
Oh
off.
yeah.
Hear what you hear
uh,
what you have to say about my team.
yeah. So he picked Latios, Rotom, Gorgeist, Weezing, Galar, Torracat, Ditto, Noctowl, Metagross, Throw, Skuntank, and Regigigas. So, um, so what I like about this team is like it has lots of ways to get Metagross going. Um, like he's got the Shadow Sneak from Gorgeist. He's got the Bulldoze. Latios gets Bulldoze, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Stuff like that. I'd say an issue I have is I think Latios here is great. I like it a lot, but my main problem with it is I feel like it needs to do too much on this team. Um,
Hmm.
because like I think this team really likes the offensive presence that it provides, but it also like like there's a lot of stuff here that wants the support options from it. Like Metagross wants the Bulldoze. Um, like
Hmm.
it's this is the only Tailwind set. Noctowl doesn't get Tailwind, right? No, it doesn't.
I
I don't think
don't
it
know.
does.
I'm not
Um,
sure, to be honest.
but like I feel like the speed control in general is a little suspect. Like Latios is fine, but it's not super bulky, and I feel like I've always kind of felt like using Latios as like a supportive role is sometimes can be kind of a waste of it. Um, Not that it can't be. Uh,
Hmm.
I do like
Yeah.
I do like the Rotom. I just generally like the speed tiers aren't super great. Um, Without Tailwind, like if there was like a dedicated Tailwind setter on this team, I'd be a lot happier with it. Um, Also, like I know you know this. I know you know I think this, but I think Regigigas kind of sucks. Um, I don't hate it on this team. Like I think
Bro,
it's fine.
me too. I don't personally love it, but
I think it's I
yeah,
think it's kind of fine on this team because
it's mainly a troll pick, to be honest.
yeah, and I honestly like if I was gonna take Regigigas, it would probably be in this kind of setting where like you took it as a tier 2 and Weezing as a tier 3 so that you can it's not like taking up too many of your points, and you still have like big other threats like Rotom, Latios, and Metagross. um,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's mainly just speed control. It's a little Trick Room weak too. um, you might just be able to
Yeah.
like muscle through some Trick Room matchups though, honestly. What
Hmm.
what about what do you have to say about your team, Benny?
Yeah. I really love it. The yeah, the idea behind my draft was I was third, so I got Metagross. I wanted the Misty Terrain support um, to go along with it for the burns. So there was really like only Tapu Fini and Weezing, so I got with Weezing. And from there, I went with the Fantasy Core with Latios and Regigigas later on. But yeah, for sure, the speed tiers all over the place. Like, I was really critical about Snowbell CD with the, um, the speed tiers, but I think in retrospect, they have better speed tiers than me. Um, because I top at 110 and I go as low as 40, I think, from throw. So they have a greater span of speed tiers than me. Um, Speed control, like you said, is an issue. I have Trick Room and Trick Room Imprisoned on Gorgeist and Tailwind on Latios, and I guess Electro as well. But that's pretty much it. And the main issue for my team, I think, is that it's really top heavy. Like you look at my team, you know Metagross is coming, you know Latios is coming, you know Rotom is coming. Gorgeist Whizzing are also really great in the back. So you know, like 4 or 5 of the same Pokemon are gonna come every week. Like no way Skuntank is the man you specifically prep against me, or Noctowl or Torracat who just fake outs and intimidate. So yeah, and it's not very versatile. Like um yeah, Metagross has okay special attack, but it's mainly gonna be physical. Throw is a physical offensive mon. It gets White Guard, but I don't think anything on my team really benefits the presence of White Guard because I'm not really weak to Rock Slide. I'm not that weak to Discharge either. So yeah, but Throws is great for fighting coverage. That's pretty much the only reason why I picked him up. Dido because why not? It's one of my favorite Pokemon and I wanted to try it. But yeah, it's not the best team I had, but yeah, I'm gonna have fun with it. But it has some issue, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like I really don't think any of the Benny and I were talking about this before we clicked record, and I really don't think any of these teams are bad. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
like I think this actually was maybe possibly one of the strongest division just on average.
Me
Um,
too.
but yeah, so that being said, we'll move on to the next one in this 9-10 tie, and that's Reginald. I'll let you introduce
Mm-hmm.
this one, Benny.
Yeah. Shrunky Kong and Reginald. Yeah. I have some problems with the team. Remember when I talked about top heavy? I think this team has kind of the same problem. Like Chansey, Shuckle, Eldegoss, Pikachu, Machoke are not what I'm gonna spend most of my time prepping for when I'm gonna face them. There's a really strong Triple core with Reuniclus, Indeedee, and Glastrier. I like Northern a lot with Frisk and Tailwind. I just don't think it's the team that is gonna benefit the most out of it because yeah, Arcanon is base 95 and in Tailwind it can go off, but that's pretty much it. The rest of the team is not fast. Yeah, it's very oriented around Trick Room. Um, and yeah, the lower tier picks, I just don't think they're that great. But on the positive side, Indeedee, awesome. Glastrier, awesome. You have competitive alongside with Glastrier to carry off the intimidates that can be problematic for it. You have Arcanine, which is a great switch in for Will-O-Wisps and fire type moves and steel moves that you want to target at Glastrier. Indeedee is insane support, but can also be great with expanding force and be an offensive threat. You have Size Spam with Reuniclus and Indeedee. So they are strong stuff. To me, the main issue, like I said, is just the lower tier. Chansey, Eldegoss, Shuckle, Machoke, excuse me. I just don't think those mon are gonna come often, and if they come, I don't think are gonna do much.
Yeah, I would generally agree. Everybody who knows me knows that I think Shuckle Chansey is like really useless. Like you just like if you're bringing it, you're just basically like saying, "Oh man, I hope they don't prep for this." You know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like you can play it well, and I'm sure Donkey Kong is capable of doing so. But I like tier 4 and tier 5. I feel like you could pick anything else that would do better.
Hmm.
I don't, like I used to be a big Pikachu hater, and then I saw Ryan like sweep with it in the Premier Draft League. So like, it can do stuff, but
Yeah, it
it's
can go
super.
off, and it's lightning rod for melodic, so that's something that's okay. That's
Yeah,
not a bad component on the team. It's just yeah,
yeah,
no, it's fine actually, but it's not that. It's fine. It's just not amazing.
yeah. I think like next to Indeedee too, it can like
Yeah, because
survive a little
Pikachu is really
longer.
frail, but when you Gigantamax it with Light Ball, gets pretty nuts on the damage. And if you have
Yeah,
follow me, you ensure that Pikachu doesn't die in one single hit. So
yeah, for sure. I I think my main thing is like, yeah, like Machoke. You know, I mean, it's tier 5 again. You know, like they went pretty top heavy here, um, which I don't think
Hmm.
is inherently a bad thing if you make really good use of your low tiers. But like, I don't, you know, Machoke is not that good. Like it can bullet punch into Glastrier to proc weakness policy, but like I don't really
Yeah,
feel like Glastrier needs a self proc. Like,
you have coaching as well, but it's not a fast coaching.
right, yeah, and you know, I'm not really sure what Eldegoss is gonna accomplish here.
And
Um,
buff Leap Powder, that's what comes to mind to me. But
yeah, I don't know. It just like the picks are good. Like Indeedee, Arcanine,
yeah,
Milotic, Glastrier is super good, but then like Noivern feels a little unnecessary.
yeah.
Um, Man, though, like, really, the teams in this division are like all good because this team is not bad.
No, that's for sure. I just
Yeah,
think they could have gotten something better out of tier fours and tier five.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, moving on, we have another two-way tie of 7 and 8. This is the Shambana Shellos, coached
Mm-hmm.
by Burst. He was first pick. He got Clefable, Scizor, Mantine, Riolu, Persian, Lurantis, Cryogonal, Dragapult, Crocodile, Magmortar, and Duosion. So obviously, um, like I just have to say, this team is pretty solid. Like even though it's rated kind of low,
Yeah,
um, Riolu plus Dragapult, Riolu plus Crocodile, Riolu plus Scizor is gonna do well. Clefable plus like anything is gonna do well. Um, my main, I think the main issue I have is the team has pretty good fast speed control. Like Persian with Icy Wind, I'm a really big believer in Mantine. Um,
yeah,
so like I don't mind that, and obviously just having Dragapult, which is like the fastest thing in the format, pretty much, is like already good on its own. My main
yeah,
issue is like this team does not like Trick Room. Like, the,
yeah.
you know, there's not too much trick room going on in this division, so like I don't know if it's going to be a huge problem, but like Duosion is not enough to scare away trick room modes.
No.
Like, and like yeah, it's strong. Like it has base 125 special attack, but like I don't think I don't think that's enough. Um I mean, I know Lurantis and Scizor are like slow-ish. Um
Mm-hmm.
well, Scizor is like base 60, isn't he?
60 and Durantis 40 or 45, something like that.
Yeah. I always tend to just remember Pokemon as like fast, slow, or mid speed. Yeah,
Yeah,
45. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just, I mean, you know, and he has good setup options, right? Like he's got
yeah. You have
Clefable next
Frostmud
to,
proc. You have Frostmud proc with Ice Shroud on 3 months, so that's something great.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's
Yeah,
like I actually found it very hard to like to rank these teams because I think they're almost all really good. Like
yeah,
this team is gonna sweep stuff. Like
for sure.
this
Yeah,
team can sweep for sure. What do you think about it?
yeah. Pretty much the same. Like Clefairy, Scizor, Riolu, Dragapult. Those those 4 months on their own. Uh, um, on any given team, that can be a top tier team. Like it's amazing. You have so much option between those four. It's crazy. Like you can also have Riolu with coaching, Crocodile or Laurentis if you don't bring Contrary. So yeah, I really love those. Main issue with Riolu though, you just target around it the most of the time. Like um, if Riolu coaching, but you double target on its partner. Um, that's the way to deal with it. But Dragapult is just insane. Same goes with Clefable, Scizor, with Clef and Riolu really shines in this team. Like you said, Mantine is really great. It can either Tailwind or White Guard or Max and set up its own lane. I just think, like you said, Trick Room is gonna wreck this team. And yeah, some odd picks to me like Magmortor, Lurentis Duosion, they kind of feel odd when you pair them with Clef, Bolt, and the top on the team. But yeah, that's weird. It's either very great or average to me, this team. But
Yeah, the other
for
thing,
sure, for sure there's great option, but it's weird to say.
yeah, the other thing is like the overall like base damage output of this team is actually not that high because yeah,
Yeah,
Scissor's
it
got like
needs
one
setup.
base 130, but Dragapult base 120, like obviously that's not bad, but it's not like super great either. Crocodile's like base 107 or 110.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and those are like really your three main offensive pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, Mantine is a good max candidate. Um,
but it's base
Magmortar
70
can
special attack. It's not gonna pop off.
right, yeah, and Magmortar can kind of do things sometimes, but like
It's
I
niche.
just don't. And again, like this team does have the means to set up with Riolu, with Clefable, with Persian, with Kraganal, but like I just don't like when teams are so reliant on setup.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like this
Yeah,
team kind of borders on too reliant on that because on its own, I don't think its offensive pieces are like quite strong enough to carry the team. Um,
yeah,
the other thing is like I think this team is kind of like, and I know that if I say this, Burst is going to try to prove me wrong in the season. So go ahead, Burst. But I feel like like Dragapult is normally so valuable because it's so versatile, and I don't know if
mm-hmm.
it can do that on this team. Like I think it kind of
Yeah,
has to be
because
offensive.
you have nothing that benefits speed up. Yes, Surf, you have Crocodile and Magmortar, but it's not it's not it's not mons you bring every time. It's not
Yeah, and he has like he has the means to make Dragapult like an offensive threat
for sure.
more so
I
than
think
it
on the
already
team,
is.
I think
What was that?
Dragapult fits better on a as an offensive mon on this team as a supportive role.
Yeah, but I just wish that there was more space for it to be
Yeah,
supportive on this team, you know.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
but but yeah, again, like these teams are good. Like,
yeah,
um,
for sure. That's good.
yeah.
That's an amazing team.
All right. Well, moving on, we have the Boston Bisharps also tied for seventh and eighth, coached
Yeah,
by Yeet. I'll let you start this one.
yeah. I talked to you about this team right before we started recording, and now they are tied at 7 and 8 on the ranking. But originally I put them a lot higher, and right before I was like, okay, no, this team needs to go down. Not completely down, like it's still average at 7 and 8, and the main reason is that yes, Colossal is great, but
No, it's not.
it is predictable a lot of the time. Like if you manage to set it up well, like you have your Steam engine, you have your +2, it can do well, but it's predictable. Like you see Colossal, you know the set, you know its weakness policy, you know its Steam engine, like you know what to expect, and that's easy to prep for in my opinion. And I think yes, I think you have 3 Aquajet if Basculin gets Aquajet. I'm not sure.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, so you have 3 Aquajet user to proc Colossal, but 2 of those 3 Aquajet user are low tier 5s, so it's not amazing. And it's Aquajet, so it's prone to be countered by redirection. And in this division, all follow me users have been drafted, and a lot of Rage Potter as well have been drafted. So you're gonna encounter a lot of issue setting up your team with Aquajet this season. And yeah, but other than that, I think you have a okay trick room mode with Mimikyu, Among Us, Godarida, and Altoria for the Perish Trap core. Vicavolt under Trick Room can pop off. And Bisharp to me feels odd. Like yeah, the Ferret is great, but there's nothing that is really weak to intimidate because Dragonite has enough focus, and that's pretty much the other main offensive threat. I guess there's Mimikyu as well, but I don't think it's enough to justify having Bishop on the team. But yeah, I really like the Altoria Godorida is the main reason why I love this team so much. Like I don't know why, but you slap an Eviolite on Godorida, you you put Perish Song on Altoria, and that's I love the idea. I know it's not a great idea, but I love the idea of a Perish
Yeah.
Trap core. And with Amoonguss in the back that can be annoying with Spore and Rich Powder, I think those three can be really annoying for that Perish Trap shenanigan. But yeah, the Colossal core is not that fleshed out. There's no fast Surf user. Frostlass, again, I guess there's Ice Shard for Dragonite, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna let you take it from here.
Yeah, yeah, the Bisharp also kind of doesn't make sense to me. I get it's a mascot pick, but just doesn't
Yeah.
feel super needed. I feel I've used Bisharp before. It was in a non-max league where I actually think it's better in non-max personally, but um, it's definitely not bad on the right team. I just don't know. It just sometimes it ended up being a defensive liability for me. Like I could never
Mm-hmm.
keep it alive because its speed tier is bad, and its typing
Yeah.
defensively is not great. Um,
Yeah, and it's pretty frail on the special side.
yeah, and so like it just feels like you need a very good like abuser like Mon to support with Defiant, and I don't know that this
Mm-hmm.
team has that because his main physical attacker Dragonite has inner focus anyway. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that is one thing I'll say. Like inner focus, Aquajet into Colossal is going to be pretty good um,
Yeah,
against
but
teams with no
redirection is gonna be a
redirection.
problem. Yeah.
Right. There's quite a few teams with no redirection, and that's probably going to look pretty decent into them. My main thing with Colossal is like it's so weak, and like even at +2, it's not like it doesn't always hit Calyx, and
Yeah. And you just
like
slap a
I've
ground type move or a water type move, and
yeah, and
he
the other thing is
explode
like he
basically.
yeah, and he's got like Ice Shard into Dragonite, which is cool, like on Frostlass. Um, but
But again,
also
it's something that is prone to redirection.
yeah, well that and like if you put weakness policy on Dragonite, then like Colossal's basically like you just can't bring it that weak,
Yeah.
and like that's another thing too. I mean, I realize that like Colossal can do other things. Um, like I've seen like Trick Room sets, but I mean it's got 80 off in both
Yeah.
offenses. Like it needs something to
Yeah.
deal
Under Trick Room,
damage.
Colossal is great. Don't get me wrong, but you want something with Bulldoze to proc the weakness policy on it, and I I just don't see Bulldoze on this team. I think Dragonite gets it, but then again,
But
Dragonite
that's
doesn't
gonna
get
do
Trick
a
Room,
lot of
so
damage.
yeah.
I think that's gonna
And
do a
he doesn't
lot.
get Trick Room, so setting up Trick Room, then switch out into your Bulldoze user. It's too much effort just to set up
Yeah.
the
Yeah, overall
Colossals.
I just don't feel like the high tiers are supported enough. I do like the Trick Room matchup here. Um, and the Trick Room mode in general I think is really strong. But like
Yeah,
yeah, like also your only fake out oh no. Never mind. I forgot
you have
Gotham even gets fake
Wartortle
out.
and
Yeah, I just like War Turtle and
Victorina,
Basculin
yeah,
feel
actually.
like they kind of feel unnecessary. Like I get there's like oh they're tier fives and they're another Aquajet user, but are they really needed? Like I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah,
I
I feel like I much prefer Waterloo in this team comp uh, than
yeah, for
Basculin.
sure. Yeah, I would agree. All right.
Yeah.
Well, moving on here, we got number 6, the Shadow Ducks, coached by Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, got Urshifu, Rapid, Strike, Entei, Weavile, Verizian, Mr. Mime, Kling Klang, Fletchender, Moltres, Comfy, Grookey, and Dottler. So, I I like this team. I believe this was one that I rated it quite a bit higher, and Bennett rated it quite a bit lower, so it's ending up in the
Yeah,
middle. Um,
that's a team I think that's the team we had the bigger gap between our scoring. So
yeah,
that's gonna be pretty
um,
interesting. Yeah, because you really
yeah,
like it, I don't really like it. So yeah.
yeah. So what I like about it is, uh, I think that just offensively, I think the Firewater Grass Core is great. They're all physical, which isn't super ideal, but Entei gets inner focus and can't be burned, and you also have like Moltres. Um, I just think that the offensive output from this team is going to be crazy good. Um, like if you look at the like type chart of it, like it's got 4 flying weaknesses, but 2 of those are
Hmm.
Grookey and Dottler, which I don't think really count. Um,
Yeah.
like having Verizian and Urshifu as your flying weaknesses doesn't look so bad. Um, and Weavile is going to hit flying types really hard. Um, I just, I think main issue with this team is the Trick Room matchup looks pretty rough. But other than that, like you have 2 really good fake outs. Um, you know, speed control might be a little tough because Fletchender is priority tailwind, but it's kind of bad priority tailwind. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't know that
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe a better tailwind user, but also since he's got Moltres, that might end up like doubling up typings a lot and stuff. So I don't blame him too much for taking Fletchender here. But yeah. I know we disagreed, so why don't you tell us about it? What you think of it, Benny?
Yeah. Like the team is really offensive. That's not necessarily bad. Urshifu, Entei, Verizion, Moltres, they can pop off pretty easily, but my main issue is there's not a lot of versatility in the team. Like you see Weavile, Verizion, you know what to expect. You know it's a beat up setup. You see Comfey, Moltres, you know it's a Drilling Kiss setup. Urshifu, mainly there to clean late game with Surging Strikes. Entei, there's nothing on the team that really benefits having Bulldoze setup.
Uh,
I guess there's Clear Body Clang, but that thing is not a great mon at all. Uh, but yeah, and the lower tiers like Grookey, Dottler, what are those? Um, Fetchender, I guess it's a priority tailwind, but even with a Violite, that thing is not bulky. It's prone to fake out. It's prone to rock slide. I really don't like Fetchender at all. And yeah, Grookey, I guess you have grass terrain for floral leading stuff. But if you bring Grookey, you bring Grookey, so you have one less mon on your team, basically.
yeah.
Dottler, I believe, gets screens, but I think that's one of the few Pokemons that only learns between 5 and 10 moves. So I don't think the move pool of Dottler is very great. But yeah, my main issue is that it's very predictable. The low tiers don't really serve the team at all. Uh, and by the low tiers, I mean Clang, Clang, and down from there. Like, I think you have a strong top 6 offensively, but that's predictable. And yeah, that's my main issue here. Like, yeah, it's strong. Like on the ladder, on Series 9 ladder, maybe this team can be very great. But yeah, it's not that versatile, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. You know,
But it's not. I know I'm sounding kind of harsh, but it's not a
no,
bad team
no,
at
no. I
all.
mean,
Like
yeah, I
you
mean,
have very great option like Weavile. Weavile can ice shard Moltres, can beat up Virizion. Urshifu is an amazing pick. Like for sure, they are great stuff. It's just how well you are gonna innovate with your picks every week. I
yeah,
just
for
don't
sure.
see. I just don't see that many options for you.
Yeah, you know, I'm personally not one who normally likes to really take a lot of these kind of setup heavy teams. I mean, that's a personal thing, you know. So I definitely get the concern about like the initial damage output is a little low. Um, but
Yeah,
even then, I
Moltres
mean,
without setup is not popping off at all.
yeah, I mean, it needs like a life orb and like even then it can kind of miscalc sometimes.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely think the team is really good, and like this is a team like you really have to like prep right for it, because if you call
Yeah,
his lead or call his options wrong, you might just lose.
yeah. There's one little trick I like on the team, and it's pickpocket Weavile with Drilling Kiss. Like you can set up a weakness policy and give Weavile, for example, Life Orb or Berry, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's
And yeah,
true.
that's a nice trick, but it's not gonna come every week.
Right, for sure. All
Yeah,
right. Well, moving on here, we have number 5, the San Francisco Scissors. I'll let you start this one.
yeah. I I think that's a team I have higher than you. I think I have them at third, and you have them at
Yeah,
6 or 5.
I had them lower. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I really like the team. Matt actually drafted his lower tier picks first, and he got great value out of those, like Stormy, Rapidash, and Thwaiki. I think are great for what he has on the team. Um, you have Slurpuff, which granted is a Slurpuff. It's not great, but it's a low tier on burden with
No, that's a
uh
Swirlix.
well, what did I call it?
Slurpuff.
Slurpuff. Okay, yeah, Swirlix. My bad. Baby Slurpuff. Yeah, so you have that low tier on burden to go alongside with either Lele or Twaki, so that's an option. I like that you have Dusknoir on the team. It's pretty much not a better Dusclops, but more versatile Dusclops. Like you have every move that Dusclops get, plus offensive power and the liberty of having an item other than Eviolite. So I really like Dusclops as a Trick Room setter. Uh, you also have, I guess, Self Shadow Sneak on Tapu Lele, but not sure about that. But yeah, I just like the lower tier picks and that he managed to get a great fantasy core plus a cheap sand mode. Uh, and yeah, Berserker can also switch in to boost Excadrill. So yeah, I think the team really synergized well. And yeah,
Yeah. So my main thing with this team is, I again like it's a good team. I I really like the sand mode here. I really like the fantasy core, as you said. Um, I think my main thing is like I'm I'm not sure that the speed control is good enough. Um,
yeah,
like
that's for sure.
Dusknoir is a good trick room setter. Excadrill plus Hippo means you're moving fast with just Excadrill, but like other than that, you don't have
Yeah,
any
and I guess Excadrill,
Tailwind.
if you set up Tailwind, Excadrill at base 88 is not gonna outspeed the base 100 and above
Right,
if they
yeah.
have Tailwind.
That was my main issue with this team that I have. Uh, like you know, the Firewater Grass Core is kind of bad, but it's also obviously they're low tiers.
Yes,
And he also kind of intended to like draft bottom up with this draft.
yeah. And
I
you have
you know
Defiant alongside Excadrill, which I really like.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure that the double terrain here is needed. Um, I would
Yeah,
also
for
like
sure.
to maybe see a better unburdened partner for Tapu Lele, personally.
Me too. Yeah.
Cause like Swirlix probably gets like fake tears and stuff, but let me check. Um,
Probably
but
does
like
get a lot of move that Slurpuff gets, minus the option of being offensive like Slurpuff, and dying to pretty much any hit.
it only has 49 base speed, so like
Yeah, so even with Unburden, it's not great. Yeah.
I mean like you're outspeeding. I think you can still outspeed like base 130s with that, but I mean then you have
Yeah.
no bulk, like zero, like none. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And even with the
I would
Misty Seed boost, it's not
yeah I would
enough
definitely prefer to see a better one here. Especially with two
for
terrain
sure.
users. Uh,
Yeah.
But yeah, again, good team. Just had some issues, I think. So
Yeah.
moving on. Number 4, we have the Tennessee Talonflames, coached by Toxic. He took Tapu Koko, Bronzong, Tangela, Thievel, Avalug, Archeops, Lopunny, Lando I, um, Araquanid, Hitmonchan, and Coughing. So I think this team is like really solid. I think the Trick Room mode of Bronzong, Avalug, and Araquanid is super great. I think the fast mode with Archeops as a Tailwind setter, and then Coco Thievel being really good. They can go really fast. Lando being, decent speed tier that also really likes the Tailwind and Electro Web support.
Mm-hmm.
I just like overall, I just think this team is really cohesive. Like, um, nothing like all of this whole team pretty much can go off without like getting in anything's way. Um,
Yeah.
you sometimes you see teams, and this doesn't necessarily make a team bad on its own, but like you see like a team where this mon maxes, and that makes it so I can't bring this mon. And I don't think that's really the case for this team. Uh, it also just has a lot of versatility in um, its max options are also really good non-max options.
Yeah.
Like Tapu
Like
Koko,
Tapu
Landorus,
Koko, for sure.
Araquanid, they're all
Mm-hmm.
good without maxing, but
Yeah.
they're also good with max. So like that gives some good versatility there. Um, and again, like the speed tiers are great. Trick Room mode and Tailwind are both great. I really like this team. What do you think about it?
Yeah, me too. I really like this team. To me, it's not a top tier team. Like it's not top 3, but it's really solid. Like it's a really great team, and I love it. Bronzong in draft is just a pain in the ass to deal with. That thing never dies and can pretty much 1v4 everything. It's a Registeel that also gets Trick Room, so really great pick. And yeah, it complements really well the team with either Hit Proof for Avalog or Levitate for Coco. You have a strong Disquake core with Coco, Telepathy alongside Earthquake from Lando, Arakoning, that thing is a beast. And yeah, T-Volt plus Coco is really awesome. You have either Owl to abuse Coco's great attack stat or Victors and Parting Shot, Taunt, great supportive option. Archeops Coughing, a cheap version of Archeops Wheezing. Hitmonchan, great fake out option with inner focus. Lopunny as well, a great fast fake out. You also have Charm, I believe, and other moves like that. So yeah, I like the team. To me, it's just kind of an odd team. Like Avalog feels odd. Hitmonchan feels odd. Tangela feels odd, but they're not bad. It's just weird looking. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. It's looking weird, but I know it's great. I know it's very cohesive, and I really like it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like kind of an unusual type of team.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but
But
yeah,
that can work in his favor. Like it's not a team comp you're used to see. So if he maneuvers the team well, it can really goes in his favor.
Yeah, I'm really interested too, because like, it's lacking the normal type cores that people really go for. Like, Firewater Grass Core and Fantasy Core aren't completed, but I like don't mind that.
Yeah,
Like
no,
things like
exactly.
Coco and Lando go really well with each other, um, and like I not you know just because he's missing a lot of those like kind of traditionally high valued typings, I'm not really like concerned about that at all. Um,
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, moving on into our top three, we have the St. Louis Infernapes. Um, did I start the
Yeah,
last one or did you? I forget. I think
I
I did.
think you started
So
it, so
yeah,
I
I'll
can
let you
go.
take this
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, they have Whimsicott, Cobalion, Fungus, Moltres, Purloin, Oranguru, Caracosta, uh, Dracozolt, Gigalit, Stoutland, and Diglett. Um, Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, I have them a bit lower than you, and I think you have them pretty high, like at 2 or 3 maybe, and
Yeah, I think you
I
put
have
them
them
at.
at 5 or 6. Yeah, 5 or 6, something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think you put them fifth. I put them second. So
Yeah, and at average at 3.5.
yeah,
Uh, I don't hate the team. Like I put them at 5. I think it's a great team. Whimsicott, Cobalion. I used those in the previous season, and it's amazing. You have either beat up or fake tears to go along with Cobalion because Cobalion has base 90 attack and special attack. Those two are really great together, and I really love it. You have Amogus, Purloin, and Diglett. Not Amogus, Fungus, Purloin, and Diglett. Uh, those are gonna fight for the focus sash most of the time. I don't think those three are gonna come every time, so it narrows the the span of Pokemon you have to prep for. If you have 3 months that you know, okay, he's only gonna bring one of those, so I can focus on one that makes sense and kind of forget about the two others. Caracosta as a Shell Smash user, I guess in Tier 5 is fine, but it's not amazing. I really love the Core though with Stoutland as either offensive threat or supportive mon. Um, Trick Room with Oranguru and Gigalit is pretty strong, but that's pretty much it. Nothing on the team beside those two really love Trick Room. But yeah, overall team is great. Just lackluster on the lower tiers like Diglett, Purloin, and Fungus. But then again, Fungus and Purloin, really great supportive toolkit. But uh, I just don't see them coming all at once. That's my issue.
yeah, for sure. So my main thing that I like about this team is like there are multiple modes he can like that give him a lot of good lead options. Um, like again, like Caracosta's not the best, but even then he has redirection for it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, it can work fine under Trick Room too. And he does
Yeah,
have a decent Trick Room mode of Gigalith, Oranguru, Fungus stuff.
and he does
Purloin
have
and
Solid Rock, I believe. Or am I
yeah,
mistaken? I'm not sure.
I don't think he does, but
Yeah, yeah, Solid Rock. So its weaknesses are lowered.
oh yeah, it does. Okay, and it gets sturdy too, which I guess is all right. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I just like that the modes here are like all pretty independent from one another, and like that makes lead like matchups kind of hard to predict sometimes.
mm-hmm.
His type
Yeah,
cores are nice, um, and like he has stuff like his Trick Room matchup is really good. Um, like Gigalith is great under Trick Room,
yeah,
as
but
is Fungus.
that's pretty much it. Like Fungus under Trick Room, yeah, but you have Fungus and Oranguru that are supportive, and your only threat under Trick Room is Gigalit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's slower than like almost everything that was
Yeah,
taken in
yeah,
the
for sure,
division, and
but
like,
you
I definitely
it's
see
weak
what you're
it's
saying.
it's it's weak it's weak to spike, and that raises defense, and it's a offensive physical offensive mon, so
Yeah, for sure.
that's my main issue with your Chrome. Like it's Gigalit that goes off, and it's weak to Steel Spike, and it nerfs its main way of dealing damage. So
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think this team is like setting Trick Room that much, but I think having Gigalith as like a
yeah,
failsafe against
deteriorate
other
for
Trick
sure.
Room options is more so what he's going for. Also, the thing to keep in mind too is like Purloin and Whimsicott can both function under Trick Room as well, since they have Prankster. Um, I'm not
Yeah, but
100% sold on Purloin since he already has Whimsicott. But I also don't think it's bad. Like, it's just objectively great value for tier 4, so I don't hate it either. Um,
yeah,
yeah, the other thing is, like, the team is maybe a little skewed offensively towards, like, physical offense. I mean, like,
yeah,
Moltres has a good special attack stat, but it's also Moltres. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
but, like, even then, I mean, he has consistent, like, he has one of the best Tailwind Centers in the format for,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know,
Whimsicott
to
is
support it.
the best supportive mon period, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the team is really solid. Like, I think this is another one of those team matchups where like you have to guess the lead matchup, and if you don't, you kind of just lose like off the lead. Um,
Pretty
but yeah,
much. Yeah.
so that being said, we're gonna move on to number 2, the Lake Erie Wishy Washies. I'll introduce this one. They have coached by Hippo with a score of 3, and they took Cinderace, Regidrago, Braviary, Passimian, Exeggutor, Magneton, Cloyster, Clefairy, Blastoise, Sandaconda, and Herdier. So I believe this was another one that I rated more towards the middle, and you rated really highly, I believe.
I
Um,
I think I had them at second and you at fourth, so the average at
okay, yeah,
3.
yeah.
So we agree they are high tier, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. So what this team does really well is Clefairy plus like basically anything is
Yeah,
gonna be like really good. Um, like the Tailwind is not super consistent but good enough with Braviary, and then it also um, doubles as a Defiant user for Cinderace, which I think is really good. Um,
yeah,
I love Regidrago. Sometimes I feel like it needs a little more consistent tailwind than something like Braviary, but I think it should be okay still. Um, since you have redirection and stuff too. Um, Blastoise I think is phenomenal here.
yeah.
Like, I think it supports the team very well. By like doing bulky type stuff with fake out slash haze slash whatever, um, and uh, then also being able to set Shell Smash next to Clefairy and go off. Um,
Yeah.
I guess my main gripes with the team would be like some of the picks kind of don't like click to me. Like Passimian feels basically useless here. Um,
hmm
like and maybe this I know it has like jank strats with its ability receiver, but like I mean it's like base
Yeah,
80
that's hard to set up.
speed, which is the same as Braviary, but Braviary has Airstream, Stab Airstream, and Tailwind. They're both Defiant users, which seems like that's the main reason you would want to take Passimian. So I'm
hmm
not really sold on that. I feel like if you really wanted a fighting type, like there's literally better things in tier 4 for this team, like Machamp or Sock or things like that. Um, I think
It's
Sock
tier
could
3.
actually be well, yeah, but like he could always trade down and get and upgrade something
Yeah, yeah,
else.
yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure. Yeah.
like like I think the thing that gives Passimian tier 3 value is being a like Defiant user. Um,
hmm
and I don't know if it's like is it just is like Braviary. I think it just does it better on this team. Um, Trick Room matchup is a
Yeah.
little rough. I don't like the Exeggutor pick. Um, it very much feels like I really wanted to get a grass type, so here we are with a kind of shitty grass type. Like, and don't get me wrong, I think Executor can do well on certain teams, but I don't think this team is one of them. Um,
Hmm.
you don't really want to be setting Trick Room with it. I mean, I guess you can do like non-Gmax Cinderace Max Flare, and then like you have Chlorophyll boosted Executor. So like it can do stuff, sure, but like is that the best when you could take something else? Like I don't think this team really needs a grass type. Um, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
Mm.
I do think the team probably needs a grass type, but I think it needs one better than Executor. Um,
Yeah.
hey, maybe trade Passimian down for like Sawk and then trade up to a tier 3 grass type. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, maybe that's
cause
something they can do, and I think
cause
that would benefit them, I think.
yeah, cause like they do need like you do need a way to like get through bulky waters for like Cinderace and stuff, cause Cinderace generally does not like bulky waters. But
Yeah, no.
yeah, yeah. So some of the picks don't make a whole lot of sense to me, but like the picks that are good are like really good. Um, I guess I guess my other concern would be it might be a little too reliant on Clefairy. Um,
Hmm.
because like this team has like almost zero bulk. Um, like the bulk is just
Yeah.
generally really low. Like Blastoise is
The
bulky,
bulk is all, yeah, it's all in Blastoise and Clefairy.
and even then, I honestly Clefairy's not that bulky. Like I
Yeah,
ran
I
it.
know, it's Eviolite and yeah.
Yeah, like it with Eviolite it lives some hits, but like in a max format, it like I ran it in VBA with a Cinderace and Braviary team as well, and it was great. Like it did what it had to, but I only brought it a handful of times, and it felt like a defensive liability a lot of the times because like
It really falls short on a lot of calcs.
yeah, and the other thing is like on this team Clefairy is like like Clefairy plus Cinderace or Clefairy plus Braviary, like Steel Spike, and like that whole lead is ruined, you know.
Hmm.
Like because Clefairy doesn't live super strong Steel Spikes. It's really
Yeah, I
hard to
know.
make it live really strong stab Steel Spikes, and then you have a defense boost, and now your Cinderace and Braviary are doing less damage. Obviously, that doesn't stop Blastoise, but uh, did you have any thoughts on this? I feel like I just kind of talked for a long time.
Yeah, on this team, I really like Cinderace. I was talking earlier about the Bisharp pick on the Boston Bisharp team, saying that there wasn't a really great usage of Defiant for this team, but Cinderace alongside Braviary and Passimian to an extent really supports really greatly Cinderace for Intimidates. Um, Clefairy plus Cinderace, Clefairy plus Blastoise, Clefairy plus Regidrago, the team. That's pretty much OP stuff. The thing, like you said, that I don't like is there's not a great way to deal with bulky water types that Cinderace and Blastoise struggles with. Like you could have drafted a stronger / faster electric type or grass type. Like I feel like Magneton and Executor are fine, but not both. And like Wade, like Wickman said, um, you could trade down Pessimian and trade up one of the two to deal with that issue. And yeah, other thing, Cloyster with Just Smash. I just don't see why or when you bring Cloyster over Blastoise
Yeah, for sure.
any given week. When you have Blastoise that can have the option of being physical or special, same as Cloyster. Like, yeah, Cloyster has Stab Ice and Ice Shard, but Ice Shard proc. Yeah, I guess you have Ice Shard proc for Regidrago and Revieri, but that doesn't justify the pick, in my opinion. You could have gotten something else out of Tier 5, but then again, Tier 5 was pretty rough. So yeah, I guess it's a fine pick, just a bit redundant. But yeah,
Yeah, for
overall,
sure.
very great team. Cinderace goes off pretty
Oh yeah.
strongly on the team. So
We all know I love us a good Cinderace team, and this is
yeah,
definitely one.
yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Well, that being said, we are gonna move to our last team, the Huge Power Bros. Um,
One of the only
we
two
both,
teams we agreed upon.
yeah, uh, we both agree this was the number one, hence the average score of one. I believe this got number one in Dan's PRs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it also got number one in Toxic's PRs. This team is insanely busted. I'll let you start this one off.
Yeah, so Pepe Kenton, coach of the Huge Power Bros, they have Garchomp, Suicune, Aromatis, Mienshao, Electric, Miltank, Magmar, Celesteela, Umbreon, Hunter, and Cherim. Yeah, Garchomp, Celesteela, Prudence and Core, Slap, Suicune with that, with Tailwind, and you have a pretty great trio that you can bring every single week, and it can do the different stuff every time. Manic Trick, because you have two very electric weak Pokemon. Manic Trick is a great tier 4 value for Lightning Rod and Snarl slash Eerie Impulse support. Garchomp is also immune to electric, so it can switch in with its ground typing. Aromatis, great Trick Room setter. You have, I think, I don't know the Aromavale, I think, that you cannot get taunted, so that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, Umbreon, very fat, very annoying. You have Mienshao with Fake Out and Wild Guard support. So yeah, Suicune with Inner Focus Tailwind is very great for speed control. Same goes with Aromatis with Aromavale and Trick Room. Main problem, and that's not a real problem because I still give them the number one spot, is Cherim. Outside of Sun, I just don't see why he drafted Cherim on this team. Uh, Maybe as planned. I just don't see them right now. Magmar is a great tier 5 in
Scarf.
my opinion.
Could like
Scarf
scarf
Giga Drain
energy
with
ball
Miltank.
into. Could like scarf energy
Yeah,
ball into Sap Sipper Miltank, I guess.
yeah, yeah. And Magmar is great with Burning Jealousy and um, Eviolite. Does it still get Fake Out? I'm not sure.
No. No,
Or is
it
that
doesn't.
a transfer move, or am I completely wrong and it never
I don't.
got?
I don't think it ever got fake out. It used to get follow
Yeah,
me, and it doesn't anymore.
yeah.
Um,
Hunter is nice with base 95 and Hypnosis if you really want to go that route.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So really
I'm.
great team. I really love it, and there's not a lot of bad thing to say about it. It's really bulky. It's really fat. It's pretty strong with Celesteela and Garchomp. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's a. The one thing I could maybe say, and this is a pretty small nitpick. I'm not sure about Aromatis on this team. Like he's got some things that mainly Celesteela that can kind of work under Trick Room or Tailwind, which is nice. But I don't know that he needs the dedicated Trick Room setter when it could be like a more
Yeah.
possibly offensive fairy type. Like I don't think it's bad on the team. I just think maybe there could be something better. I also know there aren't that many fairies in tier 3, so there's that too. Uh,
hmm
but I'm not sure
And I
that this
guess
team
the
ever.
team is gonna struggle against Trick Room because yes, Celesteela um, can go to Trick Room, but if it's in Trick Room, it doesn't want to go for a stream. One of its two stabs, so
Yeah, for sure. And it's still like mid speed, so it's not like
yeah.
great under Trick Room against like especially against like dedicated Trick Room cores.
Because
I
everything
will
else on the
say,
team beside Umbreon is base 85 and above.
yeah. Um I will say the fast end is great. I also think Mienshao is amazing on this team. I think
Yeah.
um having the fast fake out, but also like fast coaching into Garchomp and Celesteela is so
Yeah,
valuable.
yeah.
Um, being
And
able
one
to
guard
run
for the
like
discharge.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think this team is really really great. Like I like Bennett, I really don't have much to say about this.
Yeah, that's the kind of team
Super
I
solid.
wish I had planned to draft, but ended up with
Huh.
Regigigas whizzing. So
For sure.
uh,
All
we take
right.
those though.
Well,
So
that being said, I think we are done. Thanks a lot, Bene, for accompanying me on this video.
yeah, thank you for having me. It was great.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you to everyone for watching. And we're getting pretty close to the season now, so
Yeah,
so that's that's really exciting. Expect some Frogadier PRs are going to be out as soon as they can. We're having some scheduling issues, but hopefully we get it figured out because I'm still planning on getting those to you guys. And that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night, and we will see you next time.